WDSU first warning weather. First up will be fading showers, but then air quality concerns first. Then some hot days ahead. We've got to talk tropics and possibly stormy week into next week. Let's start with the radar and I'll show you the fading showers, Thibodaux-Houma area. And we've got a couple of fading showers even as we move towards around Jean Lafitte. Earlier, West Bank saw some rain today, but right now we're seeing it towards Thibodaux-Houma, and then we've got that fading rain activity. A couple last lightning strikes that did show, and that's going to be about it for the day. Get through the evening hours, we'll continue to bring things down. Speaking of continuing to bring things down, the rain did just that in Houma. 77, right now 87, still with an outflow boundary that came into effect there. The airport temperature still 91 Bogalusa, 88 Belle Chasse, Pierce at 85. But of course, it feels more like it's well into the 90s. Let's start with the tropics, because what's now deemed an invest, that's an area of concern, possibility of tropical development. Well, it's moved right over near the Orlando area. There in Florida, Invest 90L, max sustained winds 30 miles per hour, pressure at about 1,009 millibars, moving northeast at 7. This is expected to have no impact on us whatsoever. It's going to move out into the Atlantic, as we're going to see in the forecast here in just 1 second. You can see that that moves out in towards around off the southeastern coast of the U.S., 10-20% chance of development. I think that's a little underdone. There is a chance. Some of the forecast data shows some organization, and maybe it's our first name system. However, our focus on what could happen over the Bay of Campeche here, southwestern part of the Gulf of Mexico, it's what we've been focusing on ever since even last week. And there is potential that a system does develop, but it shouldn't have direct impact on us. So right now, tropical waves that are moving through Central America, this forecast out of the U.S. has been a lot more in the way of bringing storm activity in the way to us, but not until next week. We go into Sunday, Father's Day, first wave of precip starts to develop. Look at the possible organization by Tuesday, but this is well south of us here. We're just talking tropically influenced rain bands and outer portions of that possibly connected to the storms, but you can see that stays well south and west. Again, that forecast brings several different bouts of rain bands from Monday, Tuesday, all the way through next week. However, compare that to another forecast out of Europe. This one is a much drier force. Initial band to Father's Day Sunday, but then Monday, Tuesday, most of the storms stay in south and west of us here too. And we're starting to trend much drier. So if we put those rain forecasts together, there's the possibility on the high end and wet end, several inches of rain. But right now there's a lot of problems with that, as the trend is going towards staying well south and west of us, most of the storms. Just the tropical rain band for us. Again, the storm system doesn't hit us, but the problem is how far north and east does that rain go? And I don't think we're looking at a ton of rain. I'm starting to see us trend down. In the meantime, it's the heat that's starting to pick up here too. Look at the heat starting to move out of the desert southwest, and we're going to feel the impacts here. Going overnight tonight towards tomorrow morning, it's the typical start to it. We're in the upper 60s North Shore. We're 70s to 80s to get things going Thursday. An isolated storm or two again south of I-10, just as we've seen the last couple of days. Temperatures up to 93, 94, 95, and the air quality concerns, the weather impact day for orange air quality. Friday could be even hotter, slim chance of a storm, but look at these temps ticking up, possibly near heat advisory criteria. That's why we're going to go with the weather impact day then, and even hotter as we get into Saturday. Some in the North Shore could be coming close to 100, so we'll continue to track that. But the storms next week right now looking about a 50-50 shot, and we will have more info as we get closer to next week too.